Alright guys, welcome back to another awesome Canva hack where I turn that image into this one. Alright, so someone on my team took this really amazing photo of a product. We found this sand at Hobby Lobby and created this desert look. The first step that you saw me doing was I edited the brightness and adjusted the saturation and contrast so that the image would look better. And then I cropped it so it will be a lot easier to edit without all that other empty space in the way. So what I'm doing here is I'm uploading an image of the Superstition Mountains. This is located in the area where my client's business is, and it's quite a staple of the area. So I definitely want to add it into the background of the product image. Now there's not enough cloud space in this photo. So what I'm doing is I'm removing the background so that I can isolate the mountains in order to place them behind the product. So now the cool thing about Canva is you can adjust image size with one click without distorting the image. I love this. It makes things a lot more easy and seamless. So now that I have adjusted the sizing of the mountains to my preference, I've added them behind the product and adjusted the opacity in order to make it appear as if the mountains are a lot further away from the product. So in this instance, the product is in the foreground and the mountains are in the background. There's your education for technical verbiage. Now I found this image of clouds, and unfortunately I can't isolate the clouds. So what I've done instead is I have adjusted it to the size that I like, and I've placed it on top of everything, and now I'm just kind of playing around to see if there's any way I could eliminate having that extra space at the bottom, but it doesn't look like I can. What I'm going to do is, after I've adjusted the opacity of the clouds, I'm going to move that image all the way to the very back of everything else. Unfortunately, by doing that, it still leaves this slight blue hue over my mountains image, which I don't like. So I'm just going to play around and see if there's anything I can do to fix that. Canva has this really cool feature called duotone. What I like to do with this is I will take isolated images of photographs, just like you see me doing with this mountain. I will change both of the highlights and shadows to whichever color I like. And then once I apply it, I really like adding it behind things. It creates more depth and allows me to kind of manipulate and create a shadow that is the same shape as my object. But as you can see here, it doesn't always work. It's incredibly frustrating. For some reason, when I changed the color of the image, it created this really awful line. What you see me doing here is just kind of playing around with it to see if there's any way that I could still use that image. My purpose in creating it was that I thought if I could make the mountains a shape, like this ivory one here, I could put it behind the photograph, and then it would help the mountains stand out in front of the clouds without having that blue hue. But it didn't work. So now we move to plan B. So what I'm going to do with plan B is I'm going to duplicate my mountains again. I'm going to place them directly on top of each other. And then by moving it to the background and adjusting the opacity to make it slightly more intense, now I am able to see the mountains better, and I've eliminated some of that blue hue. Yeah, we've got to fix those clouds. So by adding these different elements, it allows me to create a social media graphic in a fraction of the time that it would take me to do it on other design programs. No offense to those programs, they're absolutely amazing. But in my personal opinion, when it comes to social media graphics, A, you shouldn't spend that much time making them. B, they typically don't have as long as of a lifespan as, other imagery like a logo or branding or vectors. So I am more than happy to use Canva to create content for my clients because I am still able to do a lot of really cool things. Now, if the mountains, let's get back to business. If the mountains and the clouds are not your thing, I have another really cool idea up my sleeve. I'm going to create something, a more simple product image that will still have accents that relate to my client's business. So over in Arizona, they have a cactus called the Seguro cactus. Maybe I'm pronouncing it correctly. If I'm not, feel free to let me know, but please be kind, first of all. So using Canva's stock photos, I was able to find these really great images of the Seguro cactus. And what I'm doing is I'm removing the background. Usually, the less items in the image, the easier it is to isolate the image that you want. But for some reason, the Canva gods have blessed me and allowed me to find this Seguro cactus and isolate everything I don't want from what I want. It's just amazing. It worked. That's all I'm trying to say. So I chose 2 different cactuses because, obviously we don't want the same cactus posted all the way across. And I have duplicated this one to put it on the other side of the product. What I'm going to do is adjust their size. That way I can create more depth with my image, because if they were all the same size, that just wouldn't be as interesting looking. Let's flip this one so that it looks slightly different from its little friend over on the left-hand side, and adjust the size. So obviously the smaller the cactus, the further away it looks. The larger the cactus, the closer it looks in proximity to the product. So now that I've placed my cactuses where I like them and adjusted their size, I'm going to play with the opacity so that they look more, well, the point is the product is the star of this image, not the cactus. The cactus is just an ornament that makes it look more interesting and catches people's attention. So yeah, I really hope that this has been helpful for you. All that I want to do is just encourage you to look at Canva and not go straight to the templates. Oh yeah, we made one out of this product too. Oh, so cool. So yeah, I just want to encourage you to be creative, play with the different tools. Canva's awesome. They're always adding new features all the time. So if this was helpful, please be sure to like and subscribe.